Hi, I'm Francesca Bastarache, and I'm a lifestyle and relationship coach. Do you value yourself? No one can make you feel inferior without your consent, Eleanor Roosevelt said. Imagine that you're in a store where all the expensive stuff is priced low and the inexpensive stuff is priced high. You would say, "This doesn't look right." The better we feel about ourselves, the less likely someone's opinion of us is of any real importance. Of course, we all want validation, but the real validation comes from within. Let's be real. Do you know anyone that's indifferent to either praise or a sneer? We are ultimately in control of how we feel. But as sure as the sun will come up each day, I believe that we are affected by others. It is to the degree that this matters. Let me repeat that. It is to the degree that this matters. Barbra Streisand sang that song, "People Need People." People do need people to be in relation to one another. This is how we check in with ourselves, and this is a good thing. Don't we all want to be acknowledged, understood, and approved of? Of course we do. The key is if you can love yourself and be happy with who you are. This will sustain you, particularly if you're feeling disregarded. And this is not easy. But it's a necessity to learn how we can overcome feeling jolted or worse, devastated when we don't get the feedback and the love that we want. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy had a dilemma. She wanted to go home, but she wasn't given accurate information. The Munchkins told her that the wizard would solve all of her problems. When she asked how she'd find the wizard, they told her to follow the yellow brick road. Were you ever influenced by someone who led you to believe that if you followed the yellow brick road, you would be home? When we're young, we needed validation and we needed approval. In fact, we could barely survive without it. It's a difficult road for a child that doesn't feel that validation, not a road that I would wish on any child. But as we grew up, hopefully we learned that we must validate ourselves. All too often, this isn't what's taught and learned, and as a result, the search for validation from others leads to decreased self-esteem. What's worse, the more we search for it, the less validated we feel because it's just too difficult for most of us to take on that responsibility for any real length of time. It's like building castles in the sand. You know, and even those that are particularly patient, they grow weary over time because it begins to take away from them. And when a relationship is based on need rather than authentic love, it eventually will deteriorate. What's worse is that if you don't feel good enough on your own, you're going to attract others that feel inferior as well. And it's not uncommon for those relationships to fall apart, and then it becomes a cycle, and not a good cycle. You feel badly, you choose badly, the relationship ends badly. If this sounds familiar, my recommendation to you is to create your own self-validation. Critique yourself. Give yourself the respect you deserve, and especially praise yourself when you do something fabulous. Learn to take a compliment from others and from yourself. The more you love yourself with all your quirks, the more people will appreciate you for your uniqueness. Take responsibility for yourself. Appreciate what others offer you, but know we all have different qualities, and all people come from their own frame of reference. It's human to project, and if we don't have a good sense of ourselves, we're treading on a dangerous path, trust me. Someone is bound to project onto us. I strongly encourage you to create your own sense of worth. This is not an easy road, but it is definitely the only route to take. Any other route is just a detour, so why make the journey longer than it needs to be? Today, I challenge you to think about how you can find traction along your route to self-validation. And always remember this, be patient with yourself. Change happens slowly, then all at once. I'm Francesca Bastarache. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.